Alright, so now I'm testing this in production, and I'm gonna create a new media campaign. Okay. I don't know if we have anything. Okay, Melissa test. It's a little slow. Bear with me. Okay, hold on. Okay, so actually sometimes the internet is a little slow. So we have this media campaign, and what I'm gonna start with is with the revenue schedule owners. So right now we're not focusing on the rate or the campaign type or any type of discount. So when a new campaign, a media campaign is created, at that time the start date, the campaign start date and campaign end date are both blank. So what we do is that a new revenue schedule owner is created, which is the system admin, Newstalk ads, and the start date is the previous Monday from today. So if today is a Monday, then today's date will come up over here. If today is not a Monday, then whatever Monday was last, that date would come up over here. So today is 11th Jan. So according to this, the last Monday was 8th of Jan. So 8 Jan 2018 is over here, and the end date is 1 year from now. Whatever Sunday will come up, that's the end date. So if I go check the calendar, so 1 year from now, so 2019 January, today is 11th, so the next Sunday would be a 13th. So 13th of January 2019 would be the end date. Okay, so that would change when we'll create new campaign items. So if I go here to the booking calendar and add new campaign items, so I'm gonna add something in future, let's say after a few months. So let's start in July. So let's say July 2nd, and end date, let's say July 2019, 28th of July. Okay, now what we'll do is okay, oh, it's gonna take some time. I should have selected the sites. Okay, if I select the week, let's see. Okay, hold on, let me pull up these. Okay, so I was trying to get the other sites in here, but I couldn't do that. It gave me some error again and again from Advendio, so I'm not sure. So I just pulled up the test site, and I'm going to create some campaign items in here. I'll create special sections and rest of the campaign items later in the test. Right now this is just the test site. Okay, so it's almost like a year worth of records. Alright, so we have around 44 records right now, 44 campaign items. Okay, so I'm just gonna save this. It's a little slow. The internet over here is not that good. So, okay, here we are. So we created around 44 records in here, 44 campaign items. So that's working, and they are like a year long campaign items starting from July 2018. So um, we have the first campaign item start date and the last campaign items end date over here populated as campaign start date and campaign end date. Now if we go check our revenue schedule owner, we'll see that we have the dates in here, the start date and the end date according to this start date and the end date, the media campaign. Okay, now right now we are just testing with the revenue schedule owners. So what I'm gonna do is, now let's suppose if I delete one one campaign item. Okay, so in that case, oh, also before we do that, let me just pull up this report. There are plenty of revenue schedules, but I just want to check the owner in here. So you can see we have this owner, Newsark ads in all of them. Okay, and the total is 57,200. Alright, now if we go back to the media campaign, we'll see that the gross amount is 57,200 and net 3 is also 57,200. Since there is no discount applied, so that's why they are both equal. Okay, so now if I delete one of them, let's say if I delete one campaign items. Okay, so after that, after deleting that, campaign start date, oh okay, sorry, campaign start date is still same. I have to delete this one as well to make the start date this 7/16. So let's delete this. Okay, so now campaign start date is updated to be 7/16/2018. So the same date would be updated over here as well in revenue schedule owners, 7/16/2018. Now if I let's suppose if I add some other revenue schedule owner, before that, let's say if I delete these two as well, so the end date would also be updated. So right now the end date is 8/4/19, but if I delete these two records, then the end date would be updated to be 7/14/19. So let's suppose if I delete these two. Okay, so after that it updated to be 7/14/2019. And if you scroll down and see the revenue schedule owner, you'll see that 7/14/2019 is updated in here. Now let's say if I add another revenue schedule owner, and let's say I typed in a wrong spelling. Okay, but I selected the correct person from here, and start date, let's say December 24th till the end. Okay, so when I save that, this would be corrected. Doesn't matter whatever you type in here, the code will correct the owner's name. Okay, now let's go back to media campaign, and over here let's scroll down. Now we have two owners. So when we added a new owner who would start in December 2018, December 24th 2018, so the first owner's end date gets updated, so that becomes 12/23/2018. Now let's suppose if I add another owner in between. So let's say I want to add Kim, and instead of December she's starting in October. So from October 8th till, let's say, February 2019 till February 10th. Okay, so if let's suppose if in between both those two owners we have to add another owner, and then in that case what would happen is, let's save this first and go back to media campaign, scroll down, go to revenue schedule owners, and here you will see all the dates of the previous two owners are now updated. Since Kim Clark joined in between, so Kim Clark's start date is 10/8, so the first revenue schedule owner's end date got updated to be 10/7, and since Kim Clark's end date is 2/10, so the second the other revenue schedule owner who was already there, her start date updated to be 2/11. Okay, so they do not overlap each other. The dates get updated accordingly. Alright, so now we have these three owners. So now let's get back to the report and see if the owners are updated in revenue schedule customs or not. Okay, so this so Kim Clark starts from 10/8 and Beth Grant starts from 2/11. So let's go back to the report. So if we scroll down, we can see Nuzak Ads is the owner till here. So this one is still here. So Kim Clark, hold on, Kim Clark starts from 10/8. Okay. So if there is any revenue schedule owner that if there is any revenue schedule custom record which starts from 10/8/2018, then Kim Clark is the owner of that record, which you can see over here. Okay, and then Kim Clark remains the owner up till February 2019. So November going on over here, then December, Kim is the owner. Kim is still the owner. Now January started 1/7/2019. Kim is still the owner. And here starts the February dates. So February 11, 2019. February 11, 2019. From this date onwards, Beth Grant is the owner till the end of the campaign. So Beth Grant started. And if we scroll down till the end, let's just check that Beth Grant is the owner till the end. Okay, so like that the owners will also change in case if we create new owners or change anything. Now let's suppose I made a mistake in here, and instead of Beth I want Emilia to be the owner. So in that case, when I save that, then all the records where Beth was the owner, so all those records will be updated. So let's go back and open the record report again. Okay, and if we scroll down to the far right, so you can see Kim Clark is the owner till February 2019. Yeah, and February 11th onwards, instead of Beth, now Emilia is the owner. We replaced Beth by Emilia's name. Okay. Grand total over here is USD to $52,000, and if we check that on our media campaign, that's the exact amount, 52,000. Okay, so that's about the owners. Now okay, so now we have these three owners. Let's suppose if I delete some other campaign item as well. Let's say if I delete these two as well, so now the campaign start date would be updated to be August 6th, 2018. So let's do that. Alright. So that's updated, and if I scroll down, excuse me, Nuzak ads start date is updated to be August 6th. Okay, because that date is less than this end date, so it got updated. Same but with rest of the owners, nothing is updated. Now again, if I delete these two, so the end date would be updated to be 6/30/2019 instead of 7/14. So if I do that, so this got updated to be 6/30. As in from here 6/30, and if we scroll down, we can see that the last revenue schedule owner, who was supposed to be the owner of the last campaign items, over here the end date is also updated. Okay, now in case if I update both of them, so let's suppose I am deleting these 4 campaign items from here. So now the start date would be September 17, 2018, and I am also deleting a couple of them from here. So now the end date would be 6/16/2019, because the last campaign item remaining would be this one. So let's delete these. So in this case, basically the start date of the campaign and the end date of that campaign are both getting updated. Okay, so start date updated to be 9/17 and end date updated to be 6/16/2019. So in that case, if we scroll down and check over here, the start date of the first revenue schedule owner is updated to be 9/17/2018, and the end date of the last revenue schedule owner is updated to be 6/16/2019. Okay, so like that the campaign start and end dates would update. Okay, now let's suppose if I delete all of them. So there are 30 campaign items and all of them are updated, deleted. So when all of them are deleted, there is no campaign item, hence the campaign start date and end date are not changed, they are just as is. But if we add some new campaign items in here now, okay, let me go back and add this from booking calendar instead. Alright, so if I add, let's say something beyond July, August, let's say September 2019, something way ahead. So I'm starting with September 9, 2019, and let's say December 2019, January 5th, 2019. So hold on for some time. Let me create the campaign items and then I'll resume this. Okay, so I'm back now. We have these in booking calendar, and I'm just gonna create a few campaign items. So these are 24 campaign items. Alright. Okay, so that's done. And we have all these 24 different campaign items created. So our campaign start date and the end date are now updated. So the start date is 8/26/2019 and the end date is 2/2/2020. So if I scroll down and check the dates over here, so according to that I have the start date as hold on, 8/26/2019. So since 8/26/2019 is in none of these two ranges, it's in this one's range in Amelia Sutherland. So in that case, it's not updated in any of the start dates. But 2/2/2020 is over here as the end date, because basically if you see, Amelia is the owner of all the revenue schedule records which start after Feb 2019, right? And in our case, the campaign is starting in August 2019. So after August, all the revenue schedule custom record will fall under Emilia Sutherland's um, ownership. Okay, so that is how this would work. And now that we have these records, let me quickly check the campaign items to check that we are not creating any duplicates. So I created these campaign items for each week, so that's why we'll have only one revenue schedule custom record under each campaign item, which you can see over here. We have all these campaign items and different revenue schedules under them. So we have only one campaign item under each revenue schedule. Sorry, we have one revenue schedule custom under each campaign item, and there are total 24. And the gross amount and the amount net 3 is 31,200. And if you check that on media campaign, it's the same 31,200. And since there is no discount applied, so that's the exact amount. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is, on the same media campaign, I'm just gonna delete all of them, create a few new campaign items. Some of them would be creative services or section, I'm not sure what the header is exactly, the name is exactly, special sections, yeah. Creative services, special sections, and some of them would be test campaign items. So I'm gonna test that. I'm gonna create that in a next video. So closing this one.